Good day. So, welcome back to this channel. I hope the previous videos were clear and understood by most because it deals with facts of our flag state and our maritime industry, especially for the seafarers now. For today's topic will be a continuation of the EMSA saga, and this time this will be the second episode of the EMSA, and this time it will be the EMSA audit and the response of Marina. Okay, so let's get started. And then they did their full-on audit, did a closing meeting, left the Philippines. On March 1, 2021, almost a year, they submitted the EMSA's final inspection report on the country's level of compliance. Okay? And then on December 20 of 2021 of the same year, yes, the EC sent to Marina their findings on the 2020 inspection mission conducted in the Philippines. So the report of EMSA after the inspection was just the preliminary report that Marina is supposed to respond to. But on the 20th of December, the European Commission's report came. Whether it's good or bad, accepted response or not accepted, that is the European Commission. So like I said in my first video, EMSA does not grade the audit. EMSA is the auditor. The vettor is someone else or something else. Okay? So there, I think this is where all this talk started. Okay, about what happened, why did we reach this level again? Okay, and so many talks happened, and till this day there's still a lot of debate on will we pass or will we fail. Okay, and part of the conversation is this video. So to continue, let's divide first the findings as per quality standard. Okay, during audits, you have key areas, which are the topics that they are auditing. You have non-conformance, but in this case it is called, they call it grievances. And you have shortcomings, and critical is major non-conformity. Okay, and there are observations. But in the audit parlance, all of these are observations. Okay, so let's try to work with the mindset of the auditor. In the diagram of audit components, it was set up in such a way that the key areas were divided into proper segments wherein you can understand the shortcoming, grievances, specific findings, and these all equate to some non-conformities, major non-conformities, critical. Okay, this is all audit parlance, but you can be able to understand it as you get along the readings of the findings. It is very precise and it is very accurate for that audit. Okay, so looking at the other key areas, okay, there are still a lot. The most I could say now, I should say, would be the key area of onboard training. Okay, well, that's just me. But then again, let's look into it individually. Okay, so if we will now at the first shortcoming under the key area of maritime administration. Okay, the shortcoming that they found was uh, the review evaluation of the programs and course design and approval identified several grievances. So then it goes down to the specifics now. The grievance one, such as this one, is insufficient design of maritime education and training, hereafter MET, programs for the certification of masters and officers. Basically, they are saying that the design based on STCW 2-2, 2-1, okay, 2-3, and for engineering 3-1, 2, and 3, the table of competencies and the course structure was not in accordance with this section A of the code. So how could that have happened? Well, let's continue. Okay. As we get along, you will see a certain pattern of observations, of critical findings, which to my mind was already tackled before. Okay, so it's just a matter of reviewing again. But then again, we have these Philippine measures to answer this. These are the immediate actions and long-term actions, okay, and proposals on what to do to correct the observed shortcomings. Well, kind of strange, but okay, let's just continue. Grievance 2 of the same key area: inconsistent provisions on the competencies that the bachelor's degree in marine trans and marine engineering program should cover. So there were a lot of inconsistencies and absences of certain subjects in the programs that were not taken up during the student years. Okay, so wow, that's kind of heavy, okay, so to speak. And in the grievance 2, there are the specific findings. These are the critical. Okay, so if you look at the specific findings: missing KUP in the programs for chief engineers and second engineers on ships powered by main propulsion of 3,000 kilowatts and more. So there were a lot of items there that were taken out. For whatever reason, this video cannot accommodate what could have been or what happened. It's just that this is very alarming, okay? Because it's already there in the KUP, so it is assumed that all the course packages has to do is to implement it, put it in, and have it implemented by the schools, the approved schools. Okay. This specific finding number 2, which is also equally important, critical, is the missing competencies in the programs for master and chief mate of ships 500 gross tonnage and more. So there you have it again. These are missing competencies. My take is these are the management level things, okay, that somehow was suspended and was reinstated again. So that sends mixed signals on how we handle it. Okay, and the last specific finding, which is missing education and training requirements for radio operators. Well, this is kind of critical in the sense that, from what I was reading, the certain institutions just apply the basic radio communication, but no GMDSS. Well, there was a lot of reasoning that it can be taken after because there's no equipment. Okay, but then again, this was a finding because when you roll out the package for radio communication, GMDSS is also there. Okay, so there are some misalignments. Okay, so that should have been captured immediately. But then again, it's here now. So the basically the Marina had to do a lot of soul searching and was had to do also a lot of immediate actions, okay, to address this. And as we get along, you will see a lot of immediate actions. Well, some very clearly are knee jerk, okay, and there are some that really needs to be implemented ASAP. So, moving on, let's go to the second shortcoming also in maritime administration area. Okay, the second shortcoming still in maritime administration was that the Philippine authorities do not ensure that all ancillary training courses are structured in accordance with written programs and included in the methods and media of delivery procedures and course materials as necessary to fully achieve the prescribed standards of competence as required in the code. You read it as consider training. These are proficiency courses. Okay, the one that are issued COPs. Okay, and for that there was the third grievance, which was insufficient structure of design and approval of mandatory STCW training courses and refresher courses. So there was some sort of disconnect in the course package versus the actual application to the students in the training institution. There were a lot of specifics that were mentioned, but it's just too many. Okay, so as usual, Marina was did their immediate measures and their factual evidences and their long-term measures. Okay, so moving on now to the key area on maritime higher education institutions. Okay, so this now deals with the end users, which are the academic institutions. The third shortcoming was the same. They do not, that's a general statement, fully structured and include methods, okay, and media of delivery. So the fourth grievance, number 4, was inconsistent teaching and examination methods, facilities, and equipment. That's quite heavy because the institution that were given approval to take in students now appear to have insufficient facilities and equipment. Read as too many students, not enough space. Okay, and it will come out in the observations that will be mentioned in the audit report. Okay, so bear in mind there are inconsistent teaching and examination methods in the schools. So that was quite a big blow for the Marina, CHED, and the school. Remember, they chose 11 out of randomly 11 degree-bearing schools to verify and audit if indeed the course packages were being applied and practiced in accordance to what was given to them, in accordance to STCW code. Proceeding still with maritime higher education institutions under the third shortcoming, was grievance number 5, which is basically courses do not cover all KUPs specified by the STCW code for the competencies addressed. That means to say that the KUP tables of section A, okay, there were selected topics that were taken up and some they're not taken up at all, which runs counter to the essence of the code, which is to give out the entire training as was written. Okay, you can't just cherry pick what you can teach and leave the rest, and then issue a certificate that says that the entire section A tables was taken up. And the EMSA auditors found out through the series of visits, record reviews, and verification. So there, the training institution, the higher education got, shall we say, caught off guard on this because they just wanted to do what they felt they could be able to do, and all the rest, okay, it would just be included in the issuance of the certificate. So it kind of struck a raw nerve with the EMSA auditors. So Marina again did their response, their immediate action, long-term action, Philippine measures, okay, factual evidences. This factual evidence we keep on recurring, okay, and these are basically these memorandum circulars, standards, okay. There's going to be a revision again, okay. So special circulars, joint Marina CHED circulars, okay, seminars, workshops, trainings. Okay. So that constitutes the factual evidence of Marina to address these. It will always come out, okay? Still with maritime education institutions is grievance number 6. Several course syllabi do not specify fundamental references and study materials concerning the addressed KUPs and included obsolete references and topics. So to give you an idea, as I read the findings, was that there were some schools that taught stability and trim without using any reference. No books, it was just chalk and talk, okay? And the other one was they were teaching dangerous goods without using the IMDG code. The little things like that are not little things. Because if you're going to teach, there must be a basis of your teaching syllabi which is supported by references. It's not just the detailed teaching syllabus of the STCW code, KUP. Also, there are recommended reference materials to enhance the teaching. One of it also is the IMO model course. Moving on to key area number 2, which is the monitoring, supervision, and evaluation of training and assessment. The fourth shortcoming was the authorities, namely CHED and Marina, did not sufficiently ensure through their monitoring system that all training and assessment activities carried out by the institutions of education are monitored, evaluated, and supervised as required under the convention and the code. And such monitoring system fully ensures achievement of the defined objectives as required. Okay? Despite there is a system in place, okay, provided by CHED and Marina, the EMSA inspectors auditors identified several inconsistencies in application of the training framework outlined above, which Ched and Marina had not identified through their monitoring activities. So it was EMSA who discovered it, not Ched or Marina. And for that, there's a grievance number 7, as stated. Some higher education institutions do not systematically plan the courses and do not follow the lesson schedule of timetables. It's kind of very heavy observation. Some schools do not actually follow the plan that was given to them, the course package and the detailed teaching syllabus that Marina and Ched have made. Okay, so why? Is it because, I don't know, there are so many factors that to consider. But then again, if the mandate is to teach STCW code in total, then that should be your objective. And teach it properly, of course. Going now to grievance number 8. Okay. Practical training at laboratories and workshops were not carried out by the higher education institution as specified in the course syllabi. Basically, it's there, but it wasn't done, so to speak. Or if it was done, it was not enough. I mean, one example was the carrying capacity of one school. They had to divide the class because they could not fit the students in the bridge simulator. Therefore, half the class did it and half spent their time in the library. Okay, and the required hours of simulation training was divided into 2. So if it was 6 hours, first group 3, second group 3, which that's not the way to understand, to interpret that. All of them should get 6 hours. That is what the observation basically was with this grievance. So I guess let's just end it at the shortcoming number 4 of the monitoring. Okay, the monitoring key area. In our next vids, we shall continue with the balance of the other key areas. But if you will notice now, there is a pattern that is beginning to unfold in the way EMSA audits and the way Marina responds. Okay? And in between, there is something that is sorely missing that I've noticed, which both Marina, Ched, the institutions, the training centers, and the assessment centers lack. Okay? They lack their own preparation. When I say preparation, not only for this audit, but for their own continuous improvement. I have not seen yet to date the actions of an internal audit. Okay? As a previous auditor and worked for a big oil company, shipping company, and served on board ship, when you subject yourselves to the external audit, you must also, prior to that, do your own internal audit. That is basic, and that is what I'm trying to look for as we go along. Very interesting. It gets better and better. So, I guess that's all for this video. The next part will be the final key areas, because I cannot simply put it in one video short. It's just too long. So I would like to thank you again for your interest and staying tuned to this channel. As I said before, don't forget to like and subscribe. And remember, wherever you are, stay safe, bon voyage, and goodbye.